It's a good thing we got that clock over there. You can't even see it. Yeah.
Did you? What did you talk to her? Where did you see her at? Yeah. That's, if you go there, you're gonna see her. But it was really sweet.
And then I get on get that receiver hit, you know.
Well, get in there and sit Yeah, so actually, no, they're stapled. You got the one on the left, and then is there another one?
This one doesn't.
That's the road one. We're gonna talk about that. That one's a confusing one. But I'd like you to grab the other one too. Is there another one, Robbie?
Yeah, there's two here, and they look.
And they look very similar. Yeah. That one, if you get to the back, you'll see the list of names. The other one, I thought was for Main Street, our other vacation. And I have a weird feeling that Troy zeroed in on that. You talked something about an easement?
Yeah.
And I don't know.
West side.
See, I think he was addressing that in the other one, but I wanted him to make sure to work on a resolution for our other vacation.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the road thing for, I mean, that's gonna, but we could talk about it as far as get the other one done and if there's that easement on the west side, that's.
Okay, that
One property has.
might be that other resolution, and I think he confused, I think he got things mixed up. It's just me. Okay, did you send an email? Yes. Pictures?
So what I want to get together is that
This isn't for anything specific, it's just a general. This wasn't for anything specific, no, it's just in general. Yeah. That's more than what we had before. Yeah, it can be good. Which is nice. It's more than what we've ever had before. For all of them. Yeah, we got one.
Okay, at this time, we can call the meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you want to stand, remove your hats. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have Joe,
Yes.
Dale,
Yes.
Jim, Arnie, Larry, Marlene, Jack. All right, at this time, I'm going to administer the oath of office to Supervisor Carsons and Supervisor Arns. And they were elected in our township election here earlier this month. Oh, shoot, I should bring one for myself. Okay. So I'm going to need you guys just to hold your right hand and read off together. Okay. I
James Carson.
do solemnly swear, you can say it with me, that I will support the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Minnesota, and faithfully for and on behalf of the citizens of Birchdale Township, discharge the duties of the office of supervisor of the Township of Birchdale in the county of Todd and the state of Minnesota to the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God. All right, perfect, thank you. And then, if you can go ahead, and I'll have you Dale sign right here. And Jim, if you can sign right here, I'll fill out the rest and notarize it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, at this time, I'd like to call for a motion to select a chair.
I'll nominate Jim.
Okay, Larry has made a motion to nominate Jim Parsons as chair. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
That was Arnie, seconded. Okay. Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And carried. And I'll turn this over to you, Jim.
I'm looking for a motion to select a vice chair, and I'll nominate Joe Offendorf. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Dale seconded. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any corrections or additions to the agenda?
I'd like to make one addition to the township road report under item C, just to follow up on some of the other problem roads that we have discussed previously based on the discussion.
Looking for a motion to amend to the amended agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Joe made that motion. I got a second.
I'll second that.
Dale seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any corrections to the minutes from last month? Not looking for a motion to approve it.
I'll make that motion.
Arnie's made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Larry seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thursday report, Marlene?
All right, at our last meeting, we had, in the checkbook, we had $306,937.20. We've earned a dividend of $56.47. Checks at our last meeting totaled $12,743.30. Electronic transfers totaled $253.41. I voided EFT 122403, which was written out to Minnesota UI, because we had one on this month's statement and it was not that amount. So that one has been voided because we've got a new one. So that was added back in, $11.62. We had one deposit for a swing arm mailbox for $80. So balance tonight of $294,088.58. Reconciliation of the checking account, the bank statement balance shows $306,751.88, less the checks that had not cleared of $12,743.30, the one deposit that hasn't cleared of $80, for a balance of $294,088.58. Money market at our last meeting had $55,430.13. We earned interest of $36.14. for a balance of $55,466.20. Our share account remains at $36.09. Total monies in the township are $349,590.94.
Questions on the treasurer's report? No, I'm looking for a motion to approve it.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Dale made the motion. Larry seconded. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
I have one question on the list of claims, the pound refuse for the open of frozen culverts, do you know, does that invoice state more than one?
No, just once.
I would guess, did you have it done too?
Called them out, they couldn't find the end of it. Not that it matters, I mean, it's very economical, I just was curious if it included a transportation fee out there or not,
As far as I know, that's for the whole thing. I mean,
the whole month or so.
yeah, and they were there for about roughly 2 hours, hour
Really?
and 45 minutes.
If I recall, I thought the bill only said, Beavis, because you do have one by your place that was,
Mhm.
yeah. So take a look at the bill, because it had it
Yeah.
specifically on the bill.
I can look at it too when it comes over my way.
Not the check, but the bill itself.
Says, pounds refuse.
That's the check.
Culver Beavis balance or balance to 175.
Thank you.
That one for the stuff that was done in the fall.
My understanding is that's, we're going through everything to date. We had a couple invoices earlier, but it was much smaller as time for the finalization of our. Well, we had some consulting basically through the fall. That is for our plan and the full engineering report, which the, underwent report. So the lion's share of it, I guess,
Anybody hit a deer on the plane?
We have one more.
Is that your brother's that where you your tree stand? Yeah. Usually when we I see deer right through the
Think she is.
Yeah. That's why you can see that.
So, we should add Alcon.
A motion to approve the bills.
I'll make that motion.
George made a motion, a second.
I'll second it.
Ernie seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. President comments, Sarah? You're up.
Oh, alrighty, cool. Okay, well, I'm Sarah Housen. I just moved out to Polly Lake. I was in Melrose, where I've been grooming since 2019. Before that, I worked in the lab at the hospital. I am currently grooming out of the house out there, but I would like to add boarding to my grooming services. I did a little research, and in Todd County, since I'm on the lake, I can only board 4 dogs at a time, which is fine. I don't know if you guys want to take a peek at my little blueprint, or if you don't really care that much, but I have a couple copies made. It's just pretty simple. I would just move my grooming out of the house. You good? Okay. So then I would be grooming and boarding out of there. I'd have 4 kennels out in the corner, the play area. I would have a fenced-in area around it, so it wouldn't affect the neighbors. They wouldn't be running amok, checking out the lake, all that jazz. They'd be in their own contained area. It would be insulated, so if they would bark at night, you shouldn't be able to hear them more than if they were in a house. I mean, there's only gonna be 4 at a time. Trying to think what else. It shouldn't add any more extra wear and tear. Most people board their dogs for 2-3 days at a time. I've had a request if I could board their dogs for 2 months. I was like, yeah, I'll let you know when you're running. But I don't know. I thought it'd be a nice little perk to boarding or to the grooming, since I'm already grooming 175 dogs. So I'm currently not taking any new dogs at this time.
That was just there.
I did open it up when I moved out here. I lost about a dozen, so I opened it up for 3 weeks and got 20. So I'm back to full capacity. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get them all in. Because I only board, or I only groom 4 to 5 dogs a day, except for Wednesday and Friday. I take care of my grandma's PCA. And I like to be done by 3:30 so I can go to my daughter's in trap, and she's in wrestling, and my son is in football, and baseball, and lots of activities to run to. So I don't know. I just thought it'd be a nice little extra. on the income, and
So basically, the county said you had to come to the township first.
county said, come to you guys, if you guys were okay with it, if we go back to the county, they said they were okay with it, if you were okay with it. So here I am, are you guys okay with it?
So where is it located? You said it was by
Oh.
Holly Lake.
So, we're at 1133-9, 251st Avenue, on Holly Lake, which would be, what's
The end of the
Be on the east
The
side
end
of
of the
Holly
loop.
Lake.
kind of between Carson's and Amanda over there. I don't know if anyone's familiar, I don't really know the neighbors that well. We moved in December and it's kind of been cold and miserable, so we haven't moved a whole lot. But we would put this 24 by 40 shed in between our house and shed so we could tie into the current septic and well, save a little bit of money, not having to create a whole new thing and another approach and everything else. It just kind of made sense. Since it wasn't gonna be a big endeavor, we were gonna have dozens of dogs at a time. Just a small little shed.
Well, myself, I don't see no problem with it.
I don't see any issue. I think it's a nice addition to the community, really.
I figured someone was out on Birch Lake and they're like, hey, we're going on an excursion for the weekend, you just wanna watch the dog? Sure, I have no opening.
Well, you'll be full, I'm sure.
Figured that would be the case with only 4 spots, since they're going out to Sarah's house versus going to the kennel.
Suppose I have to do an motion, I would imagine.
Either that, or I think Adam from Planning and Zoning wants to see it in the minutes that the board in consensus is saying that they are in support. So
I do have a piece of paperwork that somebody has to sign and say, yes, I was here, and yes, you're okay with it.
oh, okay, they have something for you.
They did, they sent it along
Okay.
with, so I can bring it back on
Okay.
Thursday.
You would probably want to give that to Jim.
So consensus as well,
Mhm. Yes, sir.
any, all on board?
Yep.
Yes. Everybody good?
Okay. Do you want to bring that already up to Jim, Sarah, so that you can take it with you and get it to Adam?
Sure, yeah. They have already started and everything for me, so I can't lose it.
These?
Sure.
Well,
Thanks.
Does that, you know, the graves up on Highway 27, does he still have 4 dogs, you know, Jim?
27?
Yeah, something for,
Yeah, used to be 4, but it was a while ago.
oh, yeah, it's a long time ago.
I don't know. I know the Albany ones, I've been in contact with them, asking what I should do and what I shouldn't do and what they would have done differently if they could have done it differently, so.
You don't have to sit through the rest of the meeting if you don't want to, but it's up to you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. You can take that.
Oh, you're all-
He's not staying.
Okay, township road reports, Joe?
Yeah, start talking about Elcott Drive, so, actually, I don't think, I mentioned this, but I didn't pass it around. So this was the estimate we've gotten, the most recent estimate we got for all the work we talked about last fall. This was submitted along with, our final plan, along with wetland delineation report from Widseth to Todd County, for our grant application. That is, to my knowledge, under review, and we'll have a determination on the 18th of April, for what the top share will be for these culverts and the river. MEC has already started some of the work by removing some of the trees. They wanted to get ahead of it. Ground was frozen when they did it, so that was less impact to the ditch, less work to have to clean up and get in. I know they started out by this place, and all the spots along there where they need to take trees out. The thing to keep in mind is all the trees are on private property, so we've already cleared out everything within the right of way, so they got permission from the landowners to go in. Some of it was a little more invasive just because there was a lot of junk there. So they tried to clear all that up and should be ready to go whenever we get the determination from Todd County. They're also ready to go with the tiling and the problem areas. Biggest issue now is waiting for frost to come out and I think road restrictions are gonna be an issue. We got frost coming out and there's road restrictions will be in effect, but they said, well, that shouldn't matter because we'll just go down the gravel road, 110th. But if you remember, 2 years ago, we had a lot of heaving on that road itself, so just a lot of moisture in the ground. I have a reservation about getting too early to start on it and wrecking 110th or 120th trying to get to it, take out all that asphalt and I'll bring all the equipment in now that they need to do it. So I think we just need to keep an eye on it and see how the roads are, how they're drying up, how they're firming up before they get started on it. So that is essentially the update I have. I know, Jackie, you were in touch with the engineer about our grant. You want to speak to that?
So just a reminder, Tracy, the engineer from Widseth out of Alexandria, will be at next month's April meeting, so 7:30. He will be here to give an update from his perspective. I reached out to him. He was game with trying for the grant. The grant is due this Friday. It's a state of Minnesota State Park Road Account grant. And they've got funds available. So he said, yes, I go ahead, Jackie, whatever you need from me. And he sent me some pieces. He felt I should reach out to the county engineer, Lauren Feldbaum, and to Dave Sabania, who is in charge of the state park road account down at the state of Minnesota. So I sent my request. Lauren Feldbaum got back to me right away and said, I don't see it, Jackie, and then he must have got on the phone with Dave Sabania with the state of Minnesota, and the two of them both decided that they didn't see it. But then I got an email earlier yesterday from Dave Sabania saying, can you send me a map of the road? So Tracy got that to him. And then his response was, all these things in the narrative, Jackie, that you're mentioning, I don't see Alcott Drive attaching to any of them. And I said, okay, so you're not saying no, right? That's not a no. My thought is, do we know of any connection from Alcott Drive to any of the recreational areas or waterways? Is there anything that Alcott Drive is connecting to give access to?
What about the Alta Rock?
I said Alta Rock.
Okay.
They can get to it from 110th and 15th. But I think the point we're missing is everybody on Alcott needs to use Alcott to get to a lake access on Sauk Lake, elsewhere, or the Alta Rock, or wildlife, or to get anywhere.
So
I'm
Alcott,
joking, but
so Alcott will bring you to those roads that give you lake access.
if you only live on the road.
Yeah, but
Oh,
those are private access.
No, what he's stating is that
Only the residents can get to the three things Jackie listed. Only the residents of Alcott Drive can get to the three things that are listed in the area by taking Alcott. Anybody else can take Highway 15 and
But what
Adjunct
about the
Gravel Road.
resort? Is that a public access down there? Gateway?
It is
Birch
not.
or which?
Anyway,
No,
Isn't that called Gateway?
yeah, Gateway, missing link at the end.
Yeah,
That's private property.
Okay,
I don't think they have an access.
okay.
Yeah, our missed opportunity was that forfeiture last year.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I mean, I did list a few things. There's a wildlife, I believe I'm trying to find my narrative.
There's a wildlife just to the east of Alcott,
Okay.
but right off of 15. There's
So, yeah,
Alta Rock.
waterfall production area.
Yeah.
How about Spear Lake, Mud Lake, Deer Lake? That's not gonna get you that's a road to go to those, right? Okay,
And the worst they can say is no.
yeah, he's already saying no. Dave Sabania's already saying no to me. I mean, he's saying unless you can tell me, Jackie, which think which place that connects to. Sock Lake, there's no contact, there's no connection.
I mean, the closest that we could maybe pursue, which would be worth asking at planning and zoning, is what Gary Rary mentioned at the annual meeting about there is an easement, apparently, I haven't looked. Apparently there's an easement right across of 110th to the lake. Public easement.
Okay. And that should show up on a plat map with the county, wouldn't it?
Should, or what whoever's in Doug's position, GIS, would have.
Yeah, Adam's is backfilling it right now. Okay,
Whether that's been vacated or not, I don't know, but
so the easement connects it over to Sock Lake. It can get
connects
in
Alcott to Sauk Lake.
Alcott to Sock, and the public could technically use it.
My hunch, and this is from what Gary, it jogged my memory from what Gary said, but I remember it when I worked on the road 20 years ago with my dad, but I think it's a similar deal to what's at your place, which is two private properties adjoining. There's a easement to get to the lake, but nobody's really aware of it anymore.
You're talking on stock?
On Sauk.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy helped him sell his house, and between those two lots, there was a public. It was supposedly for access to the lake, but it's not wide enough to really be able to park a boat and a car in there. But it was it was like 20 feet wide or something, running right between the two of them. And they were using part of that property. Nobody ever said anything, but technically it wasn't theirs. But that came up during the sale. It's about halfway up the lake on the east side.
So
It comes right off whatever the gravel road that taps into it.
That's
That's the
exactly
one
it.
he's got.
That's the one you're talking about.
Yeah, when they sold it, that was,
My recollection is it's basically the width of the road surface of 110.
There's on the map with an access,
Yeah.
Okay,
where you can do,
we got everything ready to go with it. We've got all the pieces. Tracy's gotten everything together for me, and I got the other pieces, so it's just a matter of sending it to Dave. And I gotta get Lauren to do a letter of support, which I think he will if we can prove that. Okay,
Well, thanks for running that up. Has Tracy been helpful for you?
very helpful, very, very helpful. Yep, very helpful.
big
So,
trip.
very right on the ball and getting back to me. After talking to Lauren Feldbaum, the county engineer, and I was just trying to get him to do the letter, thinking that, maybe we were eligible. He threw out he just said, Jackie, I'm just gonna say this, he goes, maybe something to share with the board would be the fact that, other times townships, when they're looking at a big dollar project, there's always, and this is not gonna be popular for me to say this, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. There's always that possibility that the township could agree to offset part of the cost, but part of the cost could be then assessed to your owners along the lake. And his question was, how many people live along Alcott? He said that might be pretty substantial to split the cost. And then the township take part of the cost and take the rest of the cost and assess. Over 10 years on property taxes, the amount wouldn't be so great. But that was something that I said I would share with all of you, and I'm just putting it out there, so.
Thanks for all the hard work, right?
Yeah, we'll try for the grant. That easement might save us.
Hopefully it's there.
I know, I'll check with the county and see if it's on the map. So,
Anything else on Alcott today?
No, not at the moment. Just as Jackie said, Tracy will be here next month. Jackie, did you happen to mention to him that the meeting's at 7:30?
I just, one of the residents tonight said, Jackie, you better tell him.
Yeah,
I think this gentleman, he said that still looks like 8 o'clock online.
yeah, I can
I
let him
better-
know too.
Yeah,
Well, maybe we both should. 'Cause
okay, it's hard to remember
Yeah.
that, it's new
Last time I
time.
talked to him, I told him it was 8, but that was before the change.
Okay, he's coming, because he said, I'll see you next month.
Perfect.
So,
So yeah, I mean, if you could share it with your neighbors, anybody, just, any feedback would be useful. that was all on that.
Moving on to item B, did everybody on the board get a chance to look at that information? I don't want to share it at this meeting because if there's somebody else bidding on any of that stuff, I don't want to know about that. So did everybody get a chance to look at it?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. We'll just keep that on file. Item C, new guardrail.
Okay, I think it was a couple weeks ago, right down up here, Amber Trail. Not how many years ago, that was their road, County Road 2, and they took the bridge out, so they put a barricade up there. The car went through the barricade, plus a couple poles off. Did you look at it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I called Lauren Feldon up, I thought, well, maybe he had parts and pieces, he don't have none. They hired a group out of, Dalton? Yeah, said that's the only one that does any work. So I never called them. I think we just thought we'd put one up.
Did we have a accident report, or can we go back at an insurance company and
Nobody knows who ran into it.
You talked to the sheriff, didn't you?
Yeah, I talked to the sheriff and he went out there. He said, if I find anything out, I'll give you a holler. So if you want me, I can call them up and.
so it's a dead end.
Right.
So would you just put another guardrail in there? Would you put like maybe board with reflective on it or something like that instead of the guardrail? What's on the other side of it?
The river. The river.
The guardrail had reflectors on it. You can't really miss it unless you intentionally.
The problem though, on that road, if I remember right, when you go on that road and you're heading down there, there is a speed limit sign that says 30 miles an hour. Right when you turn on it, before you even get to public access. That needs to come out of there. And maybe it should be a dead end.
It is a dead end sign.
Okay, but there's also a 30 mile an hour speed limit sign.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, not really, because I mean, if you're not familiar with the road and you say you get onto a road that says dead end and it says 30 miles an hour, you're gonna go 30. I mean, Dale and I looked at that and I'm like, I don't think that 30 mile an hour sign should be in there.
What do you want, 60?
Yeah.
How about if we just take it
How long
down?
ago? How long?
Oh, maybe it's a quarter mile.
Not even.
You gotta have some kind of common sense of that, and you gotta be watching, but, what the board wanted, we gotta put something up, I would imagine.
I think we should put, something like we had up there because if we do anything less. Kurt could.
I think we can catch it.
And the guy that saw it happen, he said he went out and looked, backed up, both headlights are on, and the guardrail broke. It's
Yeah.
at a 90-degree angle.
I think we have to replace like with like. I mean, I haven't been on board that long, but we've got an N of 1 crash into it thus far.
Yeah,
Since it's been put up.
25 years or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's not a bad record, really.
Probably do it by motion then,
Yeah, I would.
looking for one.
I'll make that motion.
Joe's made a motion to replace that as was, I got a second? Larry seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
So I'll call up there, see if we can get the ball rolling.
H&R construction. Yeah. You need help with it, aren't you?
Okay, thanks.
Do you want to do problem roads next then, I think? Was that next item as letter D?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know if it was C. I had it.
I said C because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Barricade.
Got it. Okay.
I put it as D,
Got it. Okay.
go ahead.
So I brought this up last month, we talked about it at the annual meeting, I just want to get, the board's thought about the other problem roads that we've discussed. I know we talked about looking at some of the more problem ones. The piece that I have learned since we last spoke about it is that Harvig may be putting in broadband on some of these roads. I'm gonna be reaching out to the manager of the office in Melrose that I met with last year to get confirmation of which roads they're going on, and when. But I think it would behoove us, if they're putting in fiber into these roads, my understanding is they're trenching it in, they're not putting it in with line boring. And right now, at least NBC charges a significant amount every time they cross a wire. And in some of these spots with an 8-foot hole in the side of the ditch, if they're gonna try to trench in wire, it's really hard to do that. And my point is if we're gonna do any of this work later after they've trenched in, we're gonna spend a lot more money navigating around wires in the ditch afterward than if we try to do our ditch work beforehand. If it's even on these same roads. They told me they're doing our road this year. And that's one of our two worst problem roads. So my thought is just maybe we try to coordinate with them or at least figure out what their schedule is and know if we want to tackle these 245th and Blue Spruce as being our two worst roads is what we've mentioned, or take one of them. I don't know if they're going up 245th or not. It sounded like they were from when I asked the surveyor, but I think it's worth figuring out, and then maybe next month having a plan for if we need to revisit these plans or if we want to even do the work or not.
Thoughts?
Were you saying that they charge them to cross the wire? What do you mean by that?
So if there's a wire, so they'll pay for a locate, right? And wherever the locate shows there is, and if they have to work around the wire, there's a fee because they're shoveling instead of using an excavator. So they don't.
Oh, contractors.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to quote what they told me because I don't remember exactly what it was, but if they're trenching in this wire, the distance they're trenching it in and where we have the problem areas on the road between the culverts and the ditches and the curvature of the road, we're going to cross the wire many times. It's going to be as much as one of these line items on here if the number they told me is correct. Not to be cryptic.
How much more is it?
My understanding was it was $500 a time they cross the wire. I need to confirm that with them again.
And then, what, 10 times or?
Roughly. In some of the spots.
And you've got estimates on this work.
Yep, yeah. It doesn't include Alcott and it doesn't include 130th or Ward Springs. Those we've addressed other ways. Alcott is on the estimate I passed earlier. Ward Springs is the project down here that we were tabling until Deja figured out what the plan was. And 130th we've got already.
Well, if you find out, Joe, if we are gonna do it, well, we should have the ditch and shape that ditch up before they do it. Because even, no matter what, if they want to go back and dig it up again, it's gonna make a, yeah.
My thought would be, right now, if they drenched it in, we have no idea they even did it with some of these spots. Versus if we actually did the culverts like we're talking about and shaping the ditch like we're talking about so the water actually flows, it's their responsibility to put it back how it was when they found it, not ours after they trenched it in.
Yeah, because they'll vibrate that in.
So is there anybody else that does this besides NBC? Have we gone out and seen what their charges would be?
We haven't yet. We can.
I think it would be worth looking into myself.
Well, we got a big project coming up on Alcott, but what Joe's saying makes sense, so let's, find out what they're gonna do and if it makes sense, look at all avenues. We gotta get a second bid too, whatever, but, personally, I'd like to get through Alcott first, but I understand what you're saying. If they're gonna be doing it, then we have to move forward. And I'm okay with, moving forward if we have to. And I know it's just gonna keep getting more expensive. And sure, the bid is still good, so.
Yeah, they guaranteed the bid for this year.
Just throwing my opinion out too.
I think we should get it on the bid, say Davey Garrett's or.
Yeah.
He's always looking, and he does a good, one of those guys that can engineer their own job,
Right.
My only concern is I've been at some of the meetings at the courthouse and they've had, I think, 2 or 3 bids. And the ones at least that they were talking about, NBC was always higher. in one case it was a lot.
I think it behooves us to get another opinion for sure. I mean, it would be negligent if we didn't, so.
I mean, if they've already started doing Ellicott, and they need to do this fairly soon.
This would fall
Like
in,
the rest of the stuff, let's see what else other people have.
yeah, I was told that the trenching work would start April 15th, which is 2 weeks away, but I haven't seen any locates, I haven't seen anything else. I'm hoping to meet with the manager of the office before then to get an idea. That was, the quote was, it was April 15th for the Gray Eagle Exchange. Well, Gray Eagle Exchange is a very big map. So I don't know where they're starting or where they're ending. Hoping to get the answers to that, but to your point, Larry, I think our priority is Alcott.
Right.
Because we've been tabling that for a year, trying to do the problem area last fall. If we can time it such that we can get this done before, at least the roads that they're gonna be trenching in, before they trench it in, but after Alcott, that would be ideal, but there's a whole bunch of ifs. You know, how wet is the spring gonna be, how much rain are we gonna get through the summer, all of those things. So I'll have to play it a little bit by ear, but I at least wanted us to have either agreement that we should do something or no, we're not doing it at all, knowing the detail about the fiber.
Well, it would be nice to know where they're starting and what their plans are.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we could go from there, and I think Ellicott, we definitely need to do that first, that's the priority of the list here.
The thing about when they did the fiber, at least through Ward Springs and the other areas they've done to date, is they've line bored and pulled the wire through at a later date and hooked it up at a later date. So they did that work through the summer, June, July, August, but then they didn't hook up the internet until November, December that year. If they're trenching it or vibrating it in, then they're gonna they might not hook it up right away, but they're doing the work right away and the wire's there right away. So I don't know how much of this locate or the I'm forgetting the name of the guy who was there, but anyway, the point is I don't know how much of what he's saying is actually the plan or not, so I'm gonna go with the horse's mouth.
So so we got two roads and you figure they're gonna maybe put fiber on both of those roads, the way it sounds, maybe?
They said they're doing the entire Gray Eagle Exchange, which both of those would fit into it. Actually, except for Alcott and Ward Springs is already done. And,
No, Fort Springs is only done to Alligator Road.
Okay. So
The
then
rest of
that,
it's not.
Compass, whoever their contract was, said in April that they're right where we live on. That's a private road, they're supposed to be coming through there, so
Okay.
evidently they're coming up.
so same thing. So yeah, then everything except Alcott, which is not on the Gray Eagle Exchange.
Well, we gotta watch a little bit. You got time to somebody's got time to look at a different bid, and then are we gonna do something because it just takes off? It's gonna be before our next meeting?
No, I think we would have, I mean, like I said, the Gray Eagle Exchange is a big thing. I'll start with talking to the office even this week in Gray Eagle, or excuse me, Melrose, and figuring out what their plan is. And then I can let all of us know if we need to meet about it beforehand or discuss it beforehand. But I can reach out to, or you said Dave Garrett, I can reach out to Dave, and, because I've discussed this plan with NBC, I can discuss ask them what their approach would be, and then compare and contrast that to this plan with them while I meet with them and see what they say and bring that back next month, unless I hear something that would tell us we need to act sooner.
Sounds good. Any more questions? Okay, we'll move on and give that back to Joe.
Thank you.
Joe,
Thanks, Joe.
unfinished business, item A.
Okay, just a reminder that next month, April 15th, at 9 a.m. here at the Township Hall, will be the local Board of Appeals and Equalization. So we want the board to be in attendance. I, as clerk, I am not going to be able to attend that meeting, as that is also a board meeting day at Todd County. So I'm hoping that Marlene, you would be able to attend and take minutes.
Okay.
I will let the board know ahead of time if there's anybody scheduled, but we still always are here. And the notice will be, I have the notice here tonight, That will be posted in Long Prairie Leader and Sauk Herald, posted on our bulletin board, and it's also on our website for residents. But if anyone is interested in addressing the board, you can show up that day, but it's also best to actually contact the Todd County Assessor's Office ahead of time for residents.
Item B,
Okay, so after the annual town meeting, at the annual meeting, we had 2 different road vacations come up. One of them being a pathway along the lake, Little Birch Lake, and then another one being a street here in Ward Springs. So I did check with Chairman Carson's, Jim, and reached out and said, is it okay for me to get Attorney Troy Gilchrist started on these 2? And he said I should. So I reached out to Attorney Gilchrist. He has prepared tonight the resolutions for the hearings. So the part that we got to skip was when the residents at the annual meeting went ahead and voted to move having this agenda item here tonight. The board's action tonight will be to set a public hearing on each of the road vacations. Attorney Gilchrist recommends that he be in attendance. If the board does not want him to be there, he wouldn't have to be, but he said it would probably be best if he did attend. He would ask that we run the hearings back to back on the same date. The other issue he brought forth is because the pathway is dealing with water and wetland, that he felt we needed to notify the DNR, and they need 60 days advance notice. Now, Larry noticed on the resolution that Troy drafted, it's got a confusing statement. There's one area that says we have to notify the DNR, and then 2 paragraphs down, it says because this is not
It's not next to the water.
next to the water, which we actually know is right along the water and in the water. So I believe that that's an error on Troy's part, that paragraph should be removed. He said if we see issues on this, we definitely should let him know. But he said the board can still go ahead and adopt the resolution, even with us Troy making corrections. So you need to adopt the resolution, and number 2, set the hearing date and time for the public hearing. Now, Troy has given his dates that he's available in May 27th, 28th, and 29th, or in June 3rd, 4th, 5th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 17, 18, 19.
60 days, or what are we?
So 60 days out, and he would be taking care of notifying the DNR of this hearing. He's gonna wanna know what date you set and what time. So I don't know if we wanna do an hour or 30 minutes maybe on each. So to piggyback that, and this is where I think Troy might have made a mistake. There's a second notice resolution tonight. But the resolution, when he was communicating with me, he was talking only about the Main Street Road in Ward Springs that residents Simic and Beckers had brought forth. But the document talks about possibly, I think, this easement,
Yeah, that's what I read.
right? That's what you're seeing, Robbie.
Yeah.
So,
I was gonna ask about that, because it refers to Lake Street, and it says the 1908 plat, but that has to do with the walkway.
right.
And it talks about being platted lots from Little Birch Lake, but, yeah, you seem to be confused.
I do. I think that I would say that maybe in light of that, I'm not sure if we can if the board could adopt both we almost have to be able to adopt 3 resolutions, because we would want to do 2 for the lake walk and 1 for the Main Street Road, I believe. But he hasn't created that 3rd resolution. Maybe what we can do is adopt the 2 that he drafted tonight for the lake walk, set the hearing, and also set the hearing for the Main Street, And then in between now and next month's meeting, he would go ahead and draft that third resolution possibly. If the board feels comfortable maybe moving that way.
And make amendments to both of these where the corrections are made.
That's the other issue. The other issue he wanted to talk about was the fact that he said, I need to get the correct, description of Main Street, of the vacation of the section of the road. He did say that in his email to me. The other question he had was to make sure that we get all of the residents listed that the lake walk crosses on properties. And he thought he had it. As you can see, the list of names is
I got a
attached.
question on the two, it looks like he mixed up Almond Drive, the private part of Almond Drive, and
Yeah,
basically writing that up, but we never talked about vacating that, so that one
that's
basically,
wrong.
although I'm gonna bring the issue up in discussion in general here whenever we get to it. But
Yeah. So I think what the intent is, we want that vacated on that easement across the road, right? Was that ever
Yeah,
an issue as part of this?
there isn't, I mean, there's an easement on the, that I know of right now is on these two chunks of land on the west side of the road, Almond Drive, and goes all the way out to the freeway there. But I don't know further up if there's another one in another, because this is in a word addition, so it's not in the plan. And somewhere buried in here, it says that there's an easement, right? But there's no place that easement actually comes across to get to the path.
Okay,
So that's good.
maybe that's a separate issue. I mean, maybe for sure we want to make sure we move on the lake walk vacation.
Well, I think if we eliminate the walk, then technically, I think this has to be part of it because, I mean, they have an easement right to go to that walk, so if we vacate the walk, they wouldn't know about it. So they would have to be notified because it's gonna basically nullify that easement right too. And the other issue I was talking to a couple neighbors is like, well, they have a right to actually come across my land or whatever, yeah. If somebody wanted to press it, there's nobody with a house there, but
Right.
yeah, they could force somebody to make a path over to it.
So where does that go across Almond?
It's, if you go down and when you hit that private, where private sign is to the right, that space over there, there's, several lots that in this was done in the 1940, the plat was done in 1908. So this dated 1946, I think. Somebody just wrote in an easement right on these chunks of land. There's two on this one.
Is it in their property deed? I mean,
In the dedication. It's
no, but I mean, is there on your regular, the deed of your
Well,
property?
Don Sundquist pulled out, this is from his, and this was in the plat stuff. He doesn't have a full plat, but this was buried in there as part of the information, because this covers going over his chunk of land, but I mean, it says right in the dedication that it was an easement right was created. I don't know if that would ever came up in the board or anything, but
So it's in the, so it's not in his abstract or is?
it's in this is the abstract, yeah.
Okay.
It's a area board edition, but it's not in the original plat.
No.
So
You know how much it costs to get rid of that on each person's along through there, to get rid of that walkway on their abstract? You know, it's gonna be a charge, you know, the county's gonna charge.
Yeah,
That's what it's
To-
gonna have
to each
update
resident.
their own abstract.
Right.
what, so you have to redraw it, you mean, is what you're saying?
They'll add a page in your abstract.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, what, they just show it vacated like the road, they vacated the road there way back.
There'll be a recording fee
Yeah.
and I can find out what that would cost.
So they would have to record that on each property, right?
Right.
So,
Right,
I mean, if each owner picked up,
Yeah.
it's gonna be like probably $40 a person, something like that, 50.
That would be in their best interest to do it.
Yeah.
So, being these are wrong, are you gonna change them or
Am I gonna change it?
you said you were gonna? look at corrections on those, or?
Well, as far as I see it, there's corrections on it. I mean, this one referring to the DNR not being involved, this other one referring to Lake Street on 19 Lake Flat, but there's not even a mention of the Main Street, so.
They need to be changed.
To me, they need to be updated.
Yeah, I think that he's gotta do some correction work here, I really do.
Is there anybody holding anybody up from anything as we're moving forward, just getting this done is what we need to do, right?
I need to take another month
Not-
to get the
not
paperwork
For you
right.
guys, for you, Robbie, and the team, but what about for the Main Street Road, is that,
Find the, get the corrections made so it's done right, I guess.
Theirs would, I mean, their date would be quicker, this one's gonna take longer to piggyback, I mean, you got 60 days, because of the DNR, they're only gonna have 30.
true, the only thing is, if we do have the attorney come, the township attorney, he wants them done on the same day. Which,
I don't think it really matters, we could go out 60 days.
But the one that you get is simply just that one section, just deleting the whole thing, otherwise the rest looks all right.
maybe, how about this, how about if we set a date? Would the board be comfortable setting a date out, like, you know, even if maybe we pushed out to June for the hearing? And then in the meantime, then Troy could get these right? Or what do you think?
I'm fine with pushing out a date as long as that date is out 60 days after we
Right,
make approval of it. Otherwise, we're gonna get into somebody's.
Well, I guess any of these here dates are 60 days out.
yeah, you're right, we'd have to go to the end of June. Yep.
And
As I say, you're
he goes
thinking
to
May,
the-
that's not gonna
Yeah,
work.
that's not gonna work,
He goes
so
to the mid-June.
maybe we better not take action at all and get it right for next month.
So you just have to do the first part of June.
So if we get it done at the end of April, you got,
May, June.
you have to be the end of, so that'd be July almost.
Yeah,
No, first part of June, the
No.
60
Well, when we
days.
don't do it till the end of
60 days from
April,
April.
then we got May and June. We
Oh,
got 60
that
days.
way, okay. I was thinking for today's date.
yeah,
I don't think we can approve something that's gonna be amended and then we're just gonna get ourselves and them in trouble.
mhm.
As long as we're not holding anything up, let's just keep kicking the can forward the right way.
If you do it near July 4th, I mean, a little before or whatever, more than likely, everybody will have an opportunity. They should, most people are up here. So I could,
Couple of
We'll
years.
have to look at sometime in July then and.
Yeah, a week after the 4th of July.
Okay, let me go back to the, you know, and I think he did pull this together pretty fast for him.
Yeah.
He was only sending me the resolutions actually this morning, and he's been working on them the last week, but, so,
So do we have all information we need to correct them? Okay.
I may reach out to the three of you
I'll
to
go.
get more information, but look, yeah, if you can,
I'll go through and double check them.
he wanted
Names and
to
stuff.
check the names of all the of the
What,
owners.
what I found confusing is, tax stuff shows one name, and county stuff shows another name, or where there's maybe more than, the tax shows more than one person, and the county's information shows this person owns it. Which ones, I would assume you wanna notify all of them, just to be on the safe side.
Automatic, so.
Yeah, and the attorney will know legally who has to be notified. So, and how the resume needs to be notified. So, why don't we'll stay in contact, and also, I think he's gonna need a legal description of the section that we need vacated on Main Street. So, did you have a survey done or something?
We
Did
had a
I?
survey done on the property, our current property, so.
Okay, so I may be asking you for that, because I think he needs something, legal description on what would it be.
I've got some questions on the private part of that drive, the other, basically what he was writing up, just to kind of see from last time, we said we'd talk about it this time a little more. But, so she verified it's public, so that little single lane that goes through there, down here. So who's liable? And I'm just gonna run it, and then go from there with people down there and try to figure out who's liable for that road? Is it it doesn't meet the 66 feet, it's just a single. Are the residents liable, like if it washed out or something, somebody drove in there and got injured or something like that? Or, it's public, but.
That's public but not township.
But it has a sign on it that says private road, doesn't it?
Yeah, I sent her some of the stuff, so, I mean,
It's a
people.
private public road.
Yeah,
So
so
it's-
there's confusion, I was confused when I
I
first
heard
got
the
it.
terminology on that just the other day, that somebody called, but that is a true terminology.
It is a true terminology?
Yeah,
It's a public-private road.
Yep.
Adam says it happens like right around your lot, right, is where it,
It's right where
Yeah.
that
Where the
creek goes
cul-de-sac
through
goes.
there, but it's
Yeah.
actually Nathan's got the person right next to me has just a little bit, but yeah, pretty much there. When
Right.
people turn around, they see that private sign, it's got a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit. Then you drive further down, you got speed bumps in, so if it's public, on a public road, went through this on their other side, you can't put speed bumps out there just because you want to put speed bumps, but there's 2 or 3 speed bumps on it. And then there's some more signage alongside the road, what's legal to be put in there. The concern for the people that live up further is it kind of curves, and I have people coming over that, when I'm trying to pull out, sometimes they're moving through there pretty good, but, they can't see them as they come around the curves. And then it's pretty torn up too, the potholes. They did some patching, been collecting some money, and that all just kind of went on the wayside, but, do we create like an HOA for the road but it's still publicly used, so, we had heavy trucks going in there because they built a house, it's was a tarred road, I guess you could call it, but it's all broken up in chunks about this big, it's coming apart. So what, do we hold liability for some of that, something gets damaged, or is the county hold, or?
We've got numerous roads like that have associations take care of them.
Okay.
yeah, if the county verified, it is showing on plat as a public road.
Yeah.
So technically, the public can drive through there.
Somebody tried to block it off once. So what about the signage? Who controls, same thing there? Because, somebody put, that's been there since I've been there. Somebody said, trying to say this is a private road. So deter people from going in there.
Well, I'm sure you could put private road signs on it, it's just that if somebody crosses, you're not gonna be able to stop them.
I don't know. My thinking is, if it's public, you can't put something up and tell them, hey, you can't use this. That's basically part of it. I understand the concerns down the way. It's just like, okay, where do we create we need to create, and I'm sure there'll be tons of problems. Because people down there that I talked to said, well, we want speed bumps. Well, keep cars up going through there driving on speed bumps. They don't want the speed, we'll put a speed limit on it. But who controls that? We would control that too. Sounds like.
From, stuff on Big Birch and stuff we have in there, they have associations and they're taking care
Could
of
be
the
saying like back in that back area, back behind where Larry is, where, yeah.
Yeah, they all.
Those are
take care
public
of that.
roads, they were donated to back there, and then they maintain them.
Take care of that, they take care of plowing and filling in potholes and
Okay.
all that stuff.
It might be worth asking Attorney Gilchrist, back when you're reaching out to him, what the resident's liability is, or the public liability, or, we don't have any jurisdiction over it, but what the township liability, let's have him confirm if there is any
That's
township.
a good question to ask.
Just ask, maybe to your point, Jim, what the definition of a public-private road is.
Well, and the other,
Something
we
wrong.
have a lot of heavy trucks go through there, so, tore it up pretty good when they were doing the house, so if, somebody else does it, or somebody's going down through, you're maintaining it, the public's tearing it up, so put weight restrictions on it or something, that kind of stuff, or can't even do that, if it's public, but we can't enforce anything.
Well, the enforcement is always the issue. On other roads with speed.
Yeah.
You can put up a sign, but who's there to enforce it? We don't have enforcement discretion.
There's trees angling over, it's harder for a big truck to come through there because you'll hit the tree. as you go through it. So that's kind of a deterrent.
Did you ever go on right straight across the lake from you, that other road that comes up south of Brickman's farm?
Yeah,
It ain't much better, but same thing.
yeah. Well, that one's actually wider. This one's
The
pretty
ruts
narrow.
are
Just
a lot deeper in it.
trying to figure out where to go, you know, okay, get all the details and try to, you know, organize and do something, maintain the road.
So I guess, Jack, I just would do like Jim said,
Sorry.
sit there and get, ask Gilchrist what is the,
I can do that,
Yeah.
yeah, I can check.
Well, it's good information to have, because we have a lot of those roads in our township, and
Right,
get the good right terminology, anyways, we're not saying this is something that's not.
just a second, we're checking on something real quick on invoice for, top excavating. Want to make sure we haven't missed a claim for tonight.
It wasn't in there.
No. Amanda's checking. It's in Missouri right now.
No, she doesn't use it. Just call me Mary.
Oh, wait a minute. Shoot. He and I were talking about, here it is, we were talking about grading and blading and gravel coat. Yeah, right, and it got lost in the message of that. Okay, so just 1 second here, we're gonna add, if it's okay, we'll add this to our claims. We can still do that, can we? Okay.
So just have to approve that one.
Okay, so, okay. Let me, what's the next? I can go ahead, I think I can multitask here. We want to keep going. Let me get the bill here. I'll send this down to the board if you want to take a look.
You got an invoice that we sent,
There's the invoice, yeah.
both down the line. We'll have to do another vote and approve that one.
I know he called me up on 2 or 3 of those roads there when they had that little bit of snow. I told him just hit Calcott and call him and
Just do the car one.
Yeah.
What's that?
Last week, it was every month, but then
Well, so you could think if he doesn't do it, we could, then we can't pay.
Yeah, we got a lot of complaints on there about all this, the way he's doing it. So. Yeah, I haven't had any complaints this year about how he's doing it.
At the annual meeting, there was a good response. Do you have any more questions on?
Guess I could ask you.
Sure, the next one.
Are you familiar with that little section down here? Yeah. What would it take to redo it? I asked some people what's there. It's tarred, like, the answer I got is class 5. That's all that's put in there. So it doesn't have a rock base or anything like that, but what would you recommend on something like that? Dig it up, one guy wants to just put more stuff on top of it, which, potholes, that ain't gonna work.
I know when they put that in, but I lived down there, and they just kind of graded a little bit, and put maybe inches, they grade that.
Yeah, what they did last year, all this came right out of the potholes, you know,
Your biggest issue there are your tree roots going underneath the road.
yeah.
They're undermining everything, they're holding a lot of moisture in it. Plus, it's not a very deep base. And not to trivialize it, but I don't think it would take that much, but the biggest issue is probably the stumps.
You went down like 8 inches or so, pulled out whatever, 10 inches, at least something, get some type of base in there. Help some, or,
In theory, I mean, I'd want to see a core sample just to know what's below it, but you've got a lot of organic matter.
so that's, you're just gonna keep getting this kind of stuff. I know they probably want to pave it again for the dust, but I don't know, it's worth doing that.
I don't know how fast you can,
Dust control and probably grind what's there, maybe.
potentially, I mean, crushed asphalt would be an option.
Yeah.
Less dust with it.
But you get something heavy going over it, and kind of the end of that with the weight of the trucks that were, get somebody else to decide. I don't think anybody's gonna do anything, but still.
You still have a garbage truck that goes down there.
Yeah, they aren't anywhere near as heavy as when those trucks were bringing sand out. I mean, they had 14 yards on them at least.
Usually when we met with the contractors getting bids on Alcott, they said that the worst offender on any tar road is the garbage truck.
Yeah.
They're overweight, they have too few axles, and they're repetitive every day or every week, consistently, no matter rain, sleet, or snow, versus dump trucks or drywall trucks are hauling usually just for a cause at a limited time. Yes, they're persistent, but not as consistent as the garbage.
Makes sense. We have a motion to accept that as a check. Almost not.
I'll second that.
I made a motion, Arnie second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carried.
If you'd like, I'd have to go out there sometime with you and just take a look at it.
Any more discussion on any of these two issues? We on to new business then?
Okay, I have a couple people, one who this guy was sitting next to me, after the meeting, and so I said, well, maybe we should put name plates up here. So that's, if you want them or not, that's, I figured I'd ask for information on it.
I think it's a good idea, it'll help me with my dementia.
I would actually be willing to do them up and have them laminated, and we could just like tape them on the tables if that would be okay.
Long thing, I suppose, long as they can see them or this or
Right.
that.
Okay.
Sure.
I mean, why not? I think it makes sense. I don't think it's something we need to pay a lot of money for.
No.
So-
Yeah, change whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody good on that?
Yeah.
Item B.
Sorry, so Jackie, you were gonna present pricing?
Well, I didn't know, like, I just went out to be proactive, and the board, the commissioners for Todd County, they have nameplates that look like that. And
Oh, yeah.
when St. Cloud Stamp and Sign, which is who they get them through, the admin said they're about $30 on cost, but I can, on Amazon, you can get them for like $6 or $8. The one thing would be just that if we changed out names, you'd have to get a new one every time if you get a new person. But they would look like that, where they just stand like that in front. But that was I just did that because I know that's what they have at the county, so.
So are you gonna take care of it, Jack?
Well, no, I thought Marlene was gonna
It doesn't matter. I mean,
I thought Marlene was
You
gonna
can do something like that
signs.
for $8 or $10, that just would look more professional and
Yeah.
it would tilt up, so.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, I mean, we are Birchdale Township, but we also don't want to look like we're just Right, on outcome evidence. And I don't know how, if we're gonna get somebody to stick on a corner.
Well, it would have to be on the side of yours and the side of.
Let's look at the ones that sit on top, I think that's a better.
I think it'd be
Yeah, if
better.
they're $6 or $8, I say that's not. a big
Yeah,
deal.
I can see them on Amazon, I can see they're $7 here for ones that look very similar to that.
I wouldn't put titles on them though.
No titles, just
I
that.
wouldn't, because I mean, what if the next time Jim doesn't run and then somebody else is the chairman?
Well, you could put supervisor on.
I think you both should have them as well.
Yeah.
And to Larry's point, say supervisor, or treasurer, or clerk, and just leave it generic.
Okay,
Makes sense, I like it.
okay. Well,
Thanks, Joe.
Don't thank me, I didn't do it.
Well, you got it, all I do is have stickers on.
and it was Artie's suggestion.
I know, but he continued the discussion, that's what I was thanking him for.
Okay.
Okay, you good with that?
Yep, now the next items kind of come up as part of our reorganizational meeting. So the next item is to appoint a township attorney. Troy Gilchrist of Town Law was our attorney for last year. And these would all be on motion if you want, what you want to do.
I'll make a motion to remove Attorney Gilchrist from Town Law Center as our attorney for 2025.
I'll second it.
Joe made a motion, Larry seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next item is to designate the official newspaper. Currently, we post in Long Prairie Leader and Sauk Herald. So,
So moved, got a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
okay, next item is our official posting places, which are two places, the Town Hall Bulletin Board out front and the Township website.
For motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Larry and Artie, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next item is our safe deposit box. And I think currently it's, access it is Marlene and myself and the chair. Is that right, Marlene?
Yes.
So if you want to keep it as the three?
Should we have Joe on there? Also,
I don't, well,
if Jim's not here.
But the safety deposit.
But the safety
Oh, that's a safety.
Yeah.
Look for a motion,
I'll make that motion.
Joe, second,
Yep.
Artie?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next four are resolutions. The first one is resolution number 2025-02, designating our depositories for township funds. I do have copies of our resolutions out on the table tonight. The depositories we have listed is First State Bank, Sauk Center, Magnify in Melrose, and Minnesota National in Sauk Center.
First State Bank is no longer in existence, it's now Pine Country Bank.
Pine Country.
Mhm.
I'll make that motion. We got a second?
I'll second.
Joe seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next item is resolution number 2025-03, resolution adopting compensation and reimbursement policy for Birchdale Township officers. See attached resolution and policy. Again, we haven't made any changes. All in all the same. Unless you want to.
I'll make that motion.
Dale's made a motion, I got a second?
I'll second.
Artie seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next one is our resolution establishing a gopher bounty in Birchdale. The current gopher bounty rate is $3 per gopher, as was last year. So if we want to keep it.
I'll make that motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Dale seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
And then the last one is resolution number 2025-05, adopting the road standard policy for Birchdale Township.
I'll make that motion.
Artie's made a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Larry seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, the next item would be to appoint the supervisors to serve on the road committee. Last year it was Supervisor Ossendorf and Supervisor Bearshade.
I'll make a motion that we retain the same road committee.
I'll second that.
Gail seconded, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, next item is our opening the sealed quotes for lawn mowing of town hall property. One was sent out to Weston Van Haverman, and we did receive one back. So I'll go ahead and pass that down to you, and then I can get last year's stuff.
I didn't want you to cut it.
Greg submitted for mowing, didn't
I think so. Why is
he?
that?
Greg submitted for mowing, right?
Did he submit one for money?
Yeah.
Great.
Gray?
Yeah.
Copy.
Not for cutting, this is for cutting the grass here around the town hall.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
No, no, what he gave, the board did review, and that will be coming up on quotes.
Yeah.
For next either 2 months or ditch mowing different.
That makes more
Then we'll send them out.
Got it. Unless he wants to cut the grass here.
I don't know how eager he is to mow lawn.
Okay.
He might not be happy when he comes back.
Yeah, what did you get into? What?
I said you would volunteer.
Yeah.
Do it for free.
Okay.
We're gonna try to put some cows on it. That'll
Yeah,
work.
exactly. No, I and.
I'll make the motion to approve the bid from that area.
We have a quorum allowed.
Okay,
Have a second?
I'll second.
Sorry, second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay, our next item is quotes for the road grading and blading. And so I'm gonna go ahead and we sent that out to Hoodring and theirs. And also we sent it to, Top Excavating, and we received one back. And I'll get last year.
Why don't you keep it? Yeah.
Lost $1 and you doing this last year.
Yeah, they're nice ones, too. Somebody stole it.
Yeah, that's our home.
I didn't know. Neighbors just give us a couple.
This is what it looks like when you don't cut them, you open.
That's what it is. Okay, did you get everything grader, Herb?
Yeah, yeah,
Good.
yeah. We got, actually 2 of them now, one, each one has a packer on the back. So we can blade either with or without. That's the difference in, with the packer, it's a little bit more.
I don't know if you need that or not.
I'll take it.
You didn't blade any roads yet, Herb, did you?
No, I think we should probably start now.
Get the edges, you know, like we talked about, you know.
I think maybe take the disc and just some of the edges in
On,
before the grass gets going,
on every gravel road.
Yep, on everyone.
make the whole round.
Every gravel road, both sides. Some of it, the shoulders this wide, so you're not gonna find much.
Unless you go by Joe Ponce's road, you might get corn stalks, you know. Might get the road a little closer.
Like Ed said, renters will put corn in your flower pots if you let it.
Be higher.
The other grader there, Herb, that one of the background, you use more like we, say we gravel roads and you plate it out with it, then you'd have the packer behind it.
Pack it. And a lot of times we use that before we spray.
Okay.
to get the road ready for spring, then I don't need the tractor and packer out there. You do it all with one
Oh,
machine. That's just kind of finish things off, you know.
I'll make a motion to award the bid to Birchdale.
Second,
I'll second.
Arnie second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, our next one is class 5 gravel. And we sent that out to Herdering and Central Specialties. And we have one back from Herdering. And that's it last year's.
Got your new shed all done, right?
No,
How far?
well, they got the steel on now, the roof, and
Oh, do it?
working on the sides right now. So it's starting to take shape.
Arnson putting that up?
Yeah.
They do pretty quick work.
Yeah, once they get out, it goes.
So we're putting a garage up for the neighbors, and they came trucking everything all prefab, you know, all the sidewalls are all done. Pretty nice.
Bing, bing, boom.
Yeah.
They go up to the wall.
Really? This is consistent, I suppose.
I don't call it safe.
If you get a little virus, they don't show up.
Yeah.
They don't have their vacation too. Robots.
So you can then
Put nameplates up there.
to put in file.
Yeah.
Today they had guys that were out there working on that garage, they were the ones that were inside all there.
Yeah,
So they take a little cross training, so see what it's like putting that up, which is good.
Okay. I wrote everything down, so I'm good.
Oh, okay, you got it.
For a motion to accept the,
big, function.
Dale made a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Joe second, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, and I'd like to ask the board, I realized that, I also sent out seal quotes for crack filling, went out as well to, Aztec, Bertram Asphalt, and Precision Roadway. Now, I sent them out and they didn't get out very timely. I gave each one of the, companies the option to email their quote into me. I only did receive one response from Aztec, and I do have that quote tonight. I guess I'm wondering if the board would like to go ahead and open and award that quote, or if they want to hold to see if Bertram and Precision might submit a quote yet. I don't know what the
But
board
most of the time Precision, he always
sends one through,
sends
right?
them too, and a couple times I called him up, he said, oh, I forgot.
This was seal coat?
Crack filling.
Crap.
So it's not on the agenda. What does the board do? So maybe I need to make a phone call to him.
I would.
Okay,
But Bertram, they were the ones that sent out
a
postcards. to
postcard, and they're new for us, but still. So should I just let those come in and I'll make a call to remind him that one?
Yeah.
And then we would be okay with opening crack filling at April's meeting? That would still give us a time?
Yep.
Okay. So we'll hold that one over.
The next item is sending out sealed quotes
You
for
missed the dust control.
dust control. What?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dust control.
Oh,
So, no, what? Throwing me off my zone there, Marlene. I'm already off. I think
I
I'm
read
Okay,
OPC.
So no,
Yeah.
in this case, what we're doing is we're looking at a quote form to send out quotes to Herdering, Knife River, and Central Minnesota Dust Control. So I would be looking for a motion to go to them again to send out the quotes to those for dust control.
I'll make that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Dale, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carried.
Okay. The next item is, the next two items is kind of the board's decision. Paint striping and then seal coating.
The paint striping, my opinion, we don't need it this year. We did all the roads last year. So if we didn't do Elcott, but we ain't gonna do Elcott anyway,
No, so you-
waste money on it, so.
Right.
Everybody agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
And seal coating, we don't. We're good. No, nothing there.
I would say.
Okay. The next item comes up on our calendar of events. It's a contract for fire with the city of Melrose. We have a 6-month lead time. So, we're coming up before July 1st. We would have to let them know if we weren't renewing the contract. So this would be just if the board
Just a reminder,
wanted to not renew that contract.
are we good with them? Okay,
And then the last item is there anything that we're missing that we need to talk about that we talked about at the annual meeting? Anything that we need to address?
So, I think beyond what we've already discussed, Elcott, broadband.
Okay,
informational item?
informational items. First of all, we did get an updated, fire contract numbers for 2026 from the city of Melrose. They just sent, some updated numbers that were changed from the initial contract. And I didn't do a comparison, but I don't believe they were off much. They were just a tweak to that. So that was just for informational purposes. And then the last item, we did receive 3 assessment requests from Main Street Title and Closing. The first one, Robert and Patricia Boyles, 217A1 110th Street, Sauk Center. And then we received 2 different ones for Stephen and Ann Brunswick on Cedar Lake Road, Sauk Center, 2 different properties. And then number 4 was Jonathan and Jesselyn Mittendorf, 12066 Alcott Drive, Sauk Center. And they did respond to all of them that there were no assessments from Birchdale Township.
Anything else from the board? Not looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Marty's made a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Joe seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, carried. Meeting done. A busy month of stuff.
Here you go, Mrs. Tucker.
Ah, my money now.